Right now at noon, Metro Police announcing hundreds of arrests in a recent operation. What they recovered in this multi-day effort.
Yeah, and we are keeping our eye to the sky. Later tonight, a chance of a few strong to severe storms, especially in northwestern Indiana. I've got the latest timeline and potential threats coming up in the forecast.
Also on this Friday, a mother now recounting the moment she says a man snuck into her daughter's room and attacked the girl. Thanks for joining us on 13 News at noon on this Friday. We do start today with national news. Right now, the Strait of Hormuz in Iran is fully open to commercial vessels. This comes amid the ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon. President Trump says the U.S. naval blockade, though, will remain in full force until Iran and the U.S. reach a deal to fully end a conflict there. Thousands of people have been killed since the conflict between Iran, Israel, and the U.S. began back in February. We'll have the very latest on the ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon as our coverage continues here today at 12:15. Thanks for joining us today at noon. I'm Anne Marie Tiernan, joined here with our meteorologist Lindsay Monroe on this Friday. And Lindsay has been saying, don't put away your winter coat just yet. And it's all because she's looking ahead and her forecast has that warning.
Yes, we get a couple overnights as we look ahead at Sunday morning, Monday morning. There will be frost in central Indiana.
Geez, my poor pansies cannot take it.
Hopefully they are they in a basket or something?
They can go inside. Okay. I have failed to do so, but now with your warning, I'm going to do better this time.
Especially Monday morning.
Okay.
And it's going to be a pretty tough transition to the 80s today, back to those cooler temperatures. Because of that, we do have that chance of a few stronger storms. Want to take you outside as we look ahead at our temperature right now. We're already into the 70s, pretty widespread across the board. 76 in Muncie, got that southwest wind reinforcing that warmer air that is headed in our direction. And so as we look ahead at daytime highs today, we're likely going to climb another 10 degrees or so with everybody getting back into the 80s. So that's going to prime the atmosphere as we've got a pretty potent cold front that's going to be headed in our direction. It will bring a line of storms in as we get into the overnight hours and into early Saturday morning. So until then, we're going to enjoy our Friday. Temperatures hanging out in the low 80s through this afternoon and then falling into the 70s as we see some clouds increase later tonight. So briefly want to hit on the timeline of this. We are looking at that highest chance of severe weather across the far northwestern tier of the state. You can see this line moving in. Still going to have that upper level support at this point. But as we go through the overnight hours and this line continues to march off to the south, it's going to run out of some momentum. During the overnight, there's not as much fuel to keep these storms going. So we really think by the time this arrives around the Indy Metro, 2 o'clock in the morning, early Saturday, there could still be some damaging wind gusts and perhaps an isolated rotating storm embedded within this line. But that severe threat's going to start to diminish. And then by the time this gets into 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning, those severe parameters are going to start to wrap up. Still could see some scattered storms into Saturday as that cooler air makes its return. We're going to talk temperatures and, of course, keep you updated on this storm timeline and the full forecast.
All right, Lindsay, thanks so much. We'll check back. In the meantime, today, Metro Police are announcing their latest initiative leading to the arrest of more than 130 people here in central Indiana. They've named this operation, they call it Operation Guardian. IMPD says along with those arrests, they recovered about 35 guns, 2 machine gun conversion devices, fentanyl, cocaine, and pills, and over $40,000 in cash, too. They say Operation Guardian is an effort to capture some of the most wanted violent offenders.
We cannot do this. We cannot get better. We cannot figure this out without that community partnership. And it starts with police on the street and the citizens on the street.
Right now, the Marion County Prosecutor's Office is working on final charges for those that are arrested in this case. We'll keep you updated. Meantime, the man accused of shooting at Metro police officers made an initial court appearance just this morning. Joel Rector is facing charges of battery by means of a deadly weapon. Police say Rector shot at them with an air rifle from the window of a house. The home was across the street from a shooting scene that they were responding to. And what you're looking at here is video of officers arriving at that house a little more than a week ago. At least one officer shot at the suspect, who ended up in the hospital in critical condition. No officers hurt in this incident, but the one who fired shots right now is on administrative leave while the investigation continues.
I'm terrified, but I'm also so grateful she's okay.
That mom is shaken. And it's because she says a man broke into her apartment window on the north side. She says he then tried to strangle and abduct her daughter. Ashton Hackman shares what she describes as a very terrifying ordeal.
And she tells me she's just glad her daughter is okay. Obviously, they are both shaken after what happened. She tells me she's just focused now on finding the person responsible.
Moving day came suddenly for Sarah Elsie and her daughter.
Yeah, we're getting out of here. I don't want to stay here another night. We don't want to stay where my daughter was attacked.
Reportedly attacked in the middle of the night. Elsie said her daughter, Sophia, woke her up in a panic. She says someone opened the window, strangled her, and tried to pull her out.
When I went into her bedroom, her window was open, the blinds were pinned up by like a hair tie, and her screen was gone. I looked out the window, and there's a chair where it looked like somebody had climbed up on and climbed into a window.
She said she wasted no time calling 911.
Unknown subjects opened caller's window and tried to grab her 11-year-old daughter.
A detective returned to the apartment later that afternoon, searching for evidence. Elsie said the window doesn't lock. IMPD confirmed they are investigating the break-in, along with other reports of a so-called peeping Tom, saying in a statement, quote, IMPD is aware of recent incidents involving a suspicious person within the lodge at Trails Edge Apartments, and detectives are investigating these incidents. North District is increasing patrols in the area to provide an added sense of safety and to deter criminal activity. Our goal is to be both visible and responsive to the community. She says she's now focused on finding peace somewhere else.
We want to put this behind us for sure, but it will definitely take some time for Sophia to heal and move on from it.
In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
Elsie now says the only description of the man that her daughter provided was that he was wearing a dark ski mask and that he had dark gloves. Anyone who may have information about this is urged to call police or call Crime Stoppers. Indiana's Attorney General is now taking his message about the state's new immigration law directly to the job site. And it's all part of what Todd Rokita is calling a statewide push to prepare workers and employers for enforcement of the new Fairness Act. It's set to take effect coming up July 1st. Now, it prohibits employers from knowingly or intentionally hiring or recruiting undocumented workers. Under the law, the AG will have the authority to investigate businesses suspected of hiring undocumented workers. Employers can face fines of up to $10,000 and temporary or permanent closure of their business for violations.
I cannot put people behind bars. I can make referrals to those that can. But they've given me significant fining authority. So we're going to be able to hurt people, or the employers, where it hurts most, and that's in their pocketbooks.
Now, support from organized labor on this has been mixed. Some argued that the new law could worsen the labor shortage right now, slowing down projects and also increasing costs. Well, before the green flag drops at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Indianapolis 500, racers in Bloomington will be putting their spin on the greatest spectacle in racing. Yep, we're talking about the Little Five with a key anniversary this year, celebrating 75 years. This year, 66 teams are competing, and crews now are preparing the stadium for the big event there. It happens next week. And for some of the riders, it's not just a tradition, it is a family tradition. Kathleen Lemmy's mother rode in the race back in 1996, and then Kathleen now followed in her mom's footsteps, as did her two brothers, Aiden and Lucas.
She told me that it was going to be hard, and I was like, okay, whatever, like, sure. And it's really hard. It's a really intense sport. It takes a lot of discipline and a lot of just like sticking with it.
I keep telling myself pressure is a privilege, and I have the privilege to be able to go out there, race, represent my team, my friends, my family, everything that I've worked hard for these last 4 years.
Up there and say I'm going in the same tracks as my parents. So the Little Five week is next week. The alumni races are on Thursday, the women's race on Friday, the men compete in Little Five on Saturday.